Hello, my name is Deandra. Welcome back to my channel. This is part 2 of my new series, Netflix K-dramas that I would recommend to Stardew Valley NPCs, combining two of my most recent hyperfixations, Stardew Valley and K-dramas. For those who didn't watch part 1 with Shane, Leia, Abigail, Clint, and Gil, these K-dramas and movies are centered around my somewhat dark interest in crime and thrillers and the dead and the recently dead, aka zombies, making this series perfect if you want something to watch for Halloween on Thursday. In this video, I recommend K-dramas to Alex, Caroline, Emily, and Haley. I was gonna do Ken and George in this video, but I'm still thinking about it. So look forward to part 3. Let's jump straight in. Let's start with Alex. So I was not about to go and look for a K-drama about American football so that I could stick with the grid ball theme. I'm not that into it. I'm not that interested in those kind of sports. I like running, wrestling, boxing, and dancing. And I found a K-drama about boxing. So it's about a young boxer. He's really hot and athletic and fit, and he has to put his dreams on hold to take care of his struggling single mother, who was a victim of DV by his alcoholic father, which is just very on the nose. I didn't expect to find something so on the nose. So the protagonist is like, he's so sweet. He's so sweet and he's so kind and pure and thoughtful and caring, and like that, I feel like that bypasses Alex's arrogant and cocky front that he puts up and jumps straight to the really soft and sensitive version of him that honestly I feel like only male Stardew Valley players get to enjoy, because he's an absolute knob if you're a female player, if you're a female farmer. I would say that this protagonist is what maybe most female Stardew Valley players would want out of Alex as a character. Someone who's hot, sweet, and strong, who's kind to everyone and not just other men. But I digress. So this main character also has a BF, and I'm not going to elaborate on whether I mean best friend or boyfriend, because I think that's the whole point. I would say that it could turn into a queer relationship at any point if you wanted it to in your head. Which kind of plays into one of Alex's canon events where he comes out of the closet. I really enjoyed it. I think it was really action-packed and fun, and the villain is actually, it's weird to say favorite villain because I can't stand this man. Moving swiftly on, we have Caroline, and the K-drama I recommend for her is called Reflection of You. Now, I'm still watching this one actually. I haven't finished it, and honestly I can't bring myself to finish it and work through it that quickly. Because it's driving me mad. It's actually upsetting me and I get very frustrated while I'm watching it. I don't know how I feel. I don't know if I like it, if I love it, if I hate it, if it's neutral. I'm really not sure. But what doesn't matter is my opinion. I would still recommend this to Caroline, and here's why. So it's about a woman who cheats on her husband and has a child with another man. And if you don't know that law, then I'm sorry that I gave you spoilers. But basically, her moody daughter stresses her out, and her son is a sport brat. There is no son in Stardew Valley, but bear with me. But her husband makes good money, and she can enjoy herself at home, indulging in her favorite hobby, tea. I'm kidding, it's painting, it's art. But then her life starts to fall apart as one by one, the people in her life and in her town start to find out that she's not just a sweet middle-aged lady with a relaxing hobby. And the plot thickens later because the man who she slept with is also married, and that was her best friend. Oh my gosh. So it was a double affair, and his witchy wife, do you see what I did there? His witchy wife fell into a deep depression after he left her, so she dedicates way too much free time terrorizing people and trying to get revenge on the happy people around her. She really could be doing other things, but she's insane. She's absolutely insane. And you could argue that she's hurting on the inside and she has every right to be angry. But in my opinion, what she does to other people, to her own husband, to the townsfolk, to her co-workers, to children, what she does to children and to everyone else around her is inexcusable, and it's foul, and I think it's really gross. And although it's not jump scare scary, it's not action packed, it's not psychologically twisted, It's infuriating. It's slow paced and a lot of the characters really piss me off, and I don't like that it's not clear who you should root for, and I know that that is very reflective of society. There's no perfectly good people, you know, people have their flaws, but spoilers, by the way. I don't like that I'm watching a show that is about a pitiful protagonist and I'm supposed to feel sorry for her. I'm supposed to feel sorry for a woman who cheated on her husband with her best friend's man. And the best friend wants her husband back, so she hurts children in her attempt to get him back. And her sweet husband, not her sweet husband, but like the protagonist's sweet husband, who will like defend her and protect her and loves her so much, he did some shady stuff behind his wife's back. Out of the country too. And then the poor guy who is like the best friend's man who comes back later, he had an affair at his wedding venue. The day of his wedding, he's kissing up on another woman. And then like the husband's like sister, like she's really rude, she's horrible, she's so rude. But she's getting beaten by her husband at home. Like how am I supposed to feel sorry for anyone? Who am I supposed to feel sorry for? Why are the flaws so grand? And the thing is, like, if I don't like the characters, I'm not invested in any of them. So if something good happens, I'm like, but did you deserve that? Similarly, when you look at Pierre, this is bringing it back to Stardew Valley. When you look at Pierre, you see why Caroline cheated on him. Not that you should, but you see why. And then you look at Abigail, and you see why she acts that way, looking at her mother's actions and her dad. And then you look at the witch, and you see why she's a bitter bitch. You see why she's bitter and resentful, and I think just the match is uncanny. The next character I want to recommend a K-drama for is Emily. This one, I actually watched another K-drama. It just wasn't enough. The similarities just weren't there. But then I found this one, and it's called Possessed. And it's partially about like this beautiful and weird fashionista with strong spiritual energy, and she trains to become a powerful shaman like her mother in order to dissipate evil spirits, namely the spirit of a serial killer. I know. She has to try and like vanquish the spirit of a serial killer that has returned to the land of the living. She's kind of like the second main character. It mainly follows the grumpy lead detective who's on the case. It jumps perspectives quite a lot. You can see the perspective of the antagonist, the villain, the police officer's perspective, the shaman's perspective. You can see a lot of people coming in. There's quite a lot of comedy as well for like comedic relief. It's like slightly romantic, but it's not too romantic. It's not, ew, love, they're in love, really, now, of all times. I think it's really important to the story and how it progresses, because that kind of connection between people can really alter the future. Wow, that was very deep of me. Yeah, I know. I feel like only a small number of people might liken their relationship to like the happy sun and the dark moon relationship / friendship between Emily and Shane in Stardew Valley. I personally don't ship them, but I feel like people who do might see it straight away. The protagonist comes off as like a bit of a tsundere, where he's like pretending not to be interested in her, but like secretly he is, but like the main focus isn't the romance between them. However, it's their connection is so important to the story. I was gonna talk about Haley in this video, Haley, Ken and George, but I've decided not to. I'm gonna leave that for part 3. Please let me know which format you like better, if you like it a bit more in the style of part 1, where I pretended to go up to the NPCs and recommend them the K-dramas themselves. I think you really like it. It's about 8 people who attempt to change their lives by participating in this twisted game. It's about a woman who moves into a beautiful house in the middle of nowhere to make art. Really reminds me of you. But the kick is she's actually insane and mentally ill and twisted and really hot. She actually has a co-worker who's obsessed with her and wants to protect her at all costs, but fails to remember that she actually needs protection from him. I know you like ancient relics and the dead, so I figured that a historical period drama about zombies would be right up your alley. He manages to clear his name after joining forces with like another elderly male adventurer, basically you and Marlin, trying to like keep the town safe and everything despite your like aching bones and raging headaches and receding hairlines. Or more like part 2, where I kind of just yap and ramble at my phone for 10 minutes. Let me know which K-dramas you've seen out of the ones I recommended. If you do end up watching them, let me know what you think with no spoilers in the comments. And I'll see you in part 3. Bye.